Hello, my name is Nigel Palmer and today we're going to discuss harvesting garlic. Garlic's one of my favorite things to grow, harvest, and eat. It is so tasty, especially when harvested right out of the ground. It's so juicy and so flavorful. It's such a treat. Here in southern New England we harvest around the mid-July time frame. This year it's been extremely difficult to select a time to harvest because of all the rain we've had. It's rained for almost 2.5 weeks steadily with only a few days of sunshine. It just so happens the last couple of days we had some sunshine which allowed the plant to dry out a little bit. The soil was very well mulched, so it was able to absorb this water. Each leaf on the garlic plant represents a layer of paper around the bulb. When the first 3 bottom leaves turn brown, that's an indication that it's time to harvest the garlic. With all this rain, I'm concerned that that paper, those first 3 layers of paper, were going to get wet and rot. So you want to get it out of the ground before that happens. Of course, rotting is not a good thing. When I harvest the garlic, I pull about 10 plants at a time, knock off the soil from the root structure, and remove any wet or dried materials to help facilitate the curing process. These are tied up in bunches and hung in the garden shed where it is dry, well ventilated, and out of sunlight to cure. Curing takes several weeks. In my case, I leave it hanging in the garden shed till sometime in September when I'll clean up the garlic for storage and select those really nice bulbs for growing next year. One of the most important things about harvesting garlic in July is the recognition that there is still many more months to go before winter, and that soil area wants to be covered. The thick leaf mulch that was applied when planted in October serves as a great mulch for that area, but you really want more than mulch at this time of year. You really want green on that surface. So I allow many quote-unquote weeds to grow within the rows of my garlic, and you'll see that in the video. There's actually garlic growing in there, there's stinging nettle growing, lettuce, kale, chives, wood sorrel. There are many quote-unquote weeds that I find very nutritious and also good to eat that I allow to grow in the garlic. So when I harvest the garlic, there's some green established in the soil. I also cast seeds a couple weeks or a week before I harvest so that these seeds have an opportunity to germinate. And when I come and harvest, I disrupt the soil a little bit and hopefully these seeds will grow. In this particular case, I cast beans about a week before this harvest. You can tell when the garlic is ready to be harvested by looking at the lower leaves of the plant. If you take a close look, you can see that the bottom 3 leaves, 1, 2, 3, are shriveled up and pretty well done. I look at this one as 1, 2, 3, and then over here you see 1, 2, 3. So that's a good indication that the garlic is ready to be pulled. Another indication is looking at the tops of the plant. You can see the tips are browning. And also I leave a few scapes on the garlic, usually the last ones that are growing, and when those are standing straight up, that's another indication that it's ready to be pulled. The scape has unfurled fully. Also, if you look between the rows of my garlic, you can see kale and lettuce, clover, stinging nettle, and other plants that will grow in once I pull the garlic. I also cast beans about a week ago in an effort to have beans come up after I harvest. So to harvest the garlic, I'll pull about 10 plants at a time, bundle them up in a string. I'll pull 10 more, put them on the other side of the string, and hang them in the garden shed where it's dry and dark and well ventilated for the bulbs to cure. They come up rather nicely. Nice development. I'm not going to knock all the soil. I'm going to knock the big clods, but I'm going to leave that pretty dirty, if you will. These are nice sized bulbs. This is It's a nice set of garlic right here. Just knock it off a little bit. So there's 5, 6. That's looking really nice. 7. That's real nice. 1, 2, 3, about 5 good size cloves. 8, 9, and 10. One end gets the loop. One end gets the knot. That's ready to hang and cure. A beautiful nettle that I've been harvesting. It still has nice young tops on it. I'll continue using that for tea in the mornings. So once you get going on this, things start moving a little bit quicker. You can start pulling multiple at the same time. See how easy they come out of the ground? Nice soil. So there, I'll pull 5 at a time and strip them individually while they're in the bunch. Just trying to get that brown off the stem so it doesn't rot. To have it clean and knock off the usual soil. Oh, that's looking pretty good. There's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As I harvest, I see that I've got lots of growth underneath, which will keep the soil green. And as I go, I find certain plants that I don't want in the garden, and I remove them and tell them out of the garden. And I can see the beans that I planted a couple weeks ago coming up in various places. And I'm hopeful that as I disrupt the soil, more will come up. So here's an example of the bulb that's pulled, and what I want to do is I want to get rid of all this wet stuff. I don't want to put this in the garden shed to dry like this. It's rained for about 2 weeks straight. We just got a couple of sunny days, so it's sort of dry, but you can see this wet material in the stalk area. I want to get rid of that so that the plant has an opportunity to dry. All right? So I'm just going to remove a little bit of the soil, but I'm going to make sure that that rotted paper on that surface is gone. There you go. Now that's ready to go. 40 more. I hope you found this short video informative, and I hope that you have an opportunity to taste fresh garlic from the ground. It's a very easy plant to grow, it's rewarding, and it doesn't take a lot of space to grow a fair bit of garlic. Until next time.